Hello Magic fans, I'm Beef and welcome back to another standard gameplay video, and today we are playing one of my favourite archetypes and I think one of the most popular archetypes on Arena, and that is Life Gain. I said before, I heard somewhere that Ajani's Pridemate is the most crafted card on Arena, as everyone loves Life Gain, and in the new Final Fantasy set, Life Gain has got some big upgrades. So a bit of Final Fantasy background. I'm sure you'll get bored about me going on about stuff like this. In Final Fantasy, white magic is curative magic, cure, dispel, poison cure, Isuna, remedy, that raise or life in some games. And people use white magic is called white mages. And not every game uses that terminology, but overall that is what it is. And in Magic, they've turned white mages clerics, and we've seen clerics before. We get clerics pretty much every set, but they rarely get a huge amount of support, not like humans or zombies or goblins or merfolk or dragons or that kind of stuff. So when we do get some cleric support, as we have in Final Fantasy, it's quite fun. So let's just quickly go through the new cards. So 4 copies of Aerith Gainsborough, a 3-mana 2/2 with lifelink, and it has that all-important text. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on Aerith Gainsborough. And along with Ajani's Pridemate and Essentiality, we now have 3 different creatures that can do that. In fact, 4, we'll get to another one. And then, like the Essentiality, she has on death ability, when she dies, put X +1/+1 counters on each legendary creature you control, where X is the number of +1/+1 counters on Aerith Gainsborough. Now, we do have a few legendaries, 2 more from Final Fantasy, but then we do have the old favourite Aerith Core, which I seem to be playing a lot recently, and Zoraline Cosmos Caller, which you'll know from the original Bat Life Gain deck in Bloomborough. So, and this isn't put them on one legendary, this is each. So if she's got 4 +1/+1 counters on her, all her legendary creatures will get +4/+4. So that's really good. And then we have 1 copy of Rosa, Resolute White Mage, a 4-mana 2/3, also a cleric with reach. Beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. It gains lifelink until end of turn. We're only playing 1 copy of this because I did want to try out some other cards. And she doesn't, obviously she gives the creature lifelink. It can be herself, but it can also be a really big Ajani's Pridemate or a really big Essentiality. Obviously Aerith already has lifelink as well. But then rounding out the really, really powerful one, Minwu White Mage, I think it's in Final Fantasy 2, is 5 mana, which is quite expensive. Usually life gain decks are very low curve, and I think the Bloomborough one topped out at 3 mana with Zoraline. But his trigger is very, very powerful. 5 mana, 3/3, Vigilance lifelinks, they're great stats. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on each cleric you control. And our deck is full of clerics. We only have 4 cards that aren't cleric or lands. And they are Exemplar of Light, and I only put it in here for card draw, a 4-mana 3/3 flyer. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. And then when you put 1 or more +1/+1 counters on this creature, draw a card, only triggers once each turn. You could easily get rid of this and play another Minwu, but just the additional card draw can be really helpful. Not a cleric, and obviously Ajani's Pridemate is not a cleric, but being able to put a +1/+1 counter on the Pridemate when you gain life, it can get pretty big pretty quickly. And round out the deck are things we've seen before. 4 cases of Uneaten Feast. Whenever a creature enters, we gain a life. To solve, we gain 4 more life this turn, and then when it's solved, we can sack it. Creature cards in your graveyard gain, you may cast this card from the graveyard. It's really great, obviously, to get back our creatures. 4 copies of Hinterland Sanctifier. Whenever a creature you control enters, we gain a life. 4 copies of LSL Core. The one we really care about is that whenever a creature we control, we gain 1 life. But whenever a creature we control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. 4 Essentiality to really go high as well. And we do have Caves of Koilos, which we need to manually tap to deal 1 damage to us to turn on the Flight and Vigilance. And also with the Channeler, when it dies, we can put its counters on any creature we control. So a great thing to put on Aerith, or, just to make her even bigger. And then 3 copies of Starscape Cleric, which is something you could remove. It can't block, but when we gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. We're going to be gaining a lot of life, so it just drains our opponent, and we can Offspring it for another 3 for 5 in total to get a 1/1 copy. And then we do have 3 copies of Inspiring Overseer, a 3 mana 2/1 with flying. When it enters, we gain a life and draw a card. He's an angel and a cleric. And then Zoraline, only 2 copies. 3 mana, 3/3, Flying Vigilance. When a bat you control attacks, Zoraline is a bat, as well as Eshin Chandler, they are both bats. We gain a life, and this is not 1 or more. So if we attack with a Zoraline and an Eshin Chandler, we gain 2 life. So that triggers all our life gain synergies. And then when it enters or attacks, we can pay white and a black. And 2 life. When we do, return target non-land permanent card in mana of a 3 or less from a graveyard to battlefield with a finality counter on it. So Aerith is 3 mana. That's really good. If they kill Aerith, we can get it back with Zoraline, along with the Channeler and the Pride Mate, and anything like Sanctifier, Starset Cleric, Elemental Core, and Inspiring Overseer. And also a sneaky way to lose life, because Essence Channeler does care about losing life. So I think you could probably take out the Starset Cleric and the Inspiring Overseer, maybe go a few more Rosa Resolute White Mage, and maybe 1 more Minwu White Mage, because they're really powerful. But getting up to that, 4 and 5 mana is not always guaranteed in this format. You could also go for Luna, I think it's Convocation, which lets you pay life to draw a card to help with the card draw. But I think this deck is really, really powerful. I love life gain. It's always a very popular one. It's one of my favourites, along with enchantments, and we will play Una soon, just as I get more mythic wild cards. I don't have many at the moment. But Aerith is obviously such an iconic Final Fantasy character. She's one of the main characters of Final Fantasy VII. I won't spoil her a 20-year-old game, but I'm sure everyone knows what happens to her. And yeah, it's just great to see another, when you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on Aerith card, because they're just really, really powerful. And they seem to rotate. We get a couple every kind of rotation. We had Voice of the Blessed for a long time. Then that went out, and then we got Essence Chandler. And I think Essence Chandler's, actually Chandler's not going anywhere. So and Minwu is absolutely bonkers. So really, really like this deck. Really, really fun. Hope you all enjoy it too. If you do, please remember to like and subscribe. Please remember to leave a comment down below on what you like, what you don't like. If you like seeing my face on the videos. If not, I can hide it again. But don't be too mean, especially with my big scruffy beard. But yeah. Please stay engaged and look forward to more Final Fantasy decks. The first Brawl deck will be coming on Friday, and then there will be a bit of a lull because I am away for a few days. So we won't have too much over the weekend, but I don't really record over the weekend anyway. So anyway, having said all that, I'll see you all in a gameplay. Opponent goes first. We have an alright hand. And we're in the mirror match. Well, that's irritating. But we can just grow our Essence Channeler. Then next turn we play another case and then our Hinterland Sanctifier. Okay, not quite the mirror match. We'll do this instead. Hopefully they don't have too much more exile base removal. But of course we know we're never going to be that lucky. Well, at least we gain a decent amount of life. Please don't have removal. Seriously? We haven't any more lands. I would like to get out Minwu. Elsification. What is it with people just playing 100% removal? At least if it was destruction, we could get it back with Zoraline. There's your Essence Channeler. Land. Well, we have an Essence Channeler. That should be okay. We have more life gain than you do. Decline. Okay, now we're getting to a similar levels of life gain. I would love Caves of Koilos. Alright, that's a big hit. Everything is going to grow quite big. You need to block. I don't think you're lasting much longer. Right, don't activate it. We have nothing in our graveyard anyway. The Essence Channeler. What the hell are you... The blazes are you doing? There we go. That is a chunky board. Bosh. Minus 37. Yeah. Minwu, pretty good in a deck full of Clerics. Oh, this is a decent hand. No turn 2 play, but... if we draw a 4th land, for example, of light as well, that'd be pretty good. Case is really good because it's incredible. Well, it's not incredibly hard to remove. It's just most people don't play enchantment removal or are going to use it on a Case of the Uneaten Feast. I would love an Essence Channeler or a Hinterland Sanctifier or Ilkor. Haha, whiff. Rosa will be good with the Exemplar as well. That's kind of irritating. Can we find our 4th land? Inspiring Overseer makes it more likely. We can find a 4th land. And we draw a card. I'm not going to attack just because if we get Rosa out and then they block the Preacher. Sorry, block with the Preacher will be... okay. Yeah, we're not blocking that. Let's get out of Sanctifier. And let's get down a second Aerith. Gain a boatload of life. Hit in for 7. If they remove Aerith. Oh. That's annoying. I don't think that's going to stop you. I'm very, very confused by that. I know Shouldered has Death Touch. You! You have to block. That's not the end of the world. Oh, it probably is. What are they naming? Okay. They're empty-handed. They can... Actually, I can't level up their sleeper. We don't have a 2-drop in there? No, we don't. We just give Rose a lifelink and swing in. Because they're going to be down at 1. Yeah. Our opponent goes first, but I like this hand. We are going to gain lots of life. And then Caves of Chorus is really good for turning on the Essence Channeler. 2 of them. Cut down. Cut down. Because of that very suspicious stick, I'm just gonna be greedy. That way when we play our Essence Channelers, they will be quite big. I would love to find a case. There we go. Why didn't you do that the turn before? Oh, there's a 3rd Essence Channeler. You have more removal. No counters to put on, Sag. That's in for 2. Are they just playing removal? No, Dark Confidant. Well, let's play out an Elisil Court. And an Essence Channeler. Which immediately becomes a 5/4. It's always annoying when Dark Confidant finds land for your opponent. I'm worried about a Day of Judgment. Do you have a Get Lost? You do have a Get Lost. Well, there's a case. How much more removal do they have? That's our 4th Essence Channeler. Well, nuts. Do you have something for the Hinterland Sanctum? Wow. Let's try and go over Sanctifier out of cut down range. Well, okay then. Oh, I'm starting to get annoyed. Starting to get very, very annoyed. Three cut downs, a go for the throat, seeing a second go for the throat, 2 get losts. Well, they didn't have a second about a round of removal. Minwu buffs our entire board, all 2 creatures. At least Minwu, if we get a hit in, lets us recast things from our graveyard. Come on, don't have something else. Well, next turn, well, we could do it. Four, 5, 6. We have 6. Okay. Well, I fudged that up royally. Yeah, that was a massive whiff. I don't like this game, this matchup. Well, that's the 4th cut down. And yes, a huge whiff by me. I don't know why I did that. I'm not sure that was worth it. All they had lifelink and flying. Now we just have Death Touch. We'll hold the planes, psych our opponent out. There we go. We will give a little bat lifelink. And we will swing in. I imagine they block the bat because it's bigger and has lifelink. They have 2 cards, and evidence would suggest their removal. They run out of cut downs. But not out of get losts. Well, we still gain life. Yeah, we'll keep that. Actually, we won't. Because obviously they will just block the Pride Mate with their Deep Cavern Bat. If they have another one, I will be very unhappy if they don't. That's too little too late. If I had used the previous one properly, we would have won this already. But yeah, I hate playing against opponents who just go all removal. We had 4 get losts, 3 go for the throats. Sorry, 4 cut downs, 3 go for the throats, 3 get losts, a cease, that's not really removal. Yeah, the only non-removal spells we saw were Dark Confidant, Cease and Desist, Restoration Magic, and a Deep Cavern Bat in almost half their deck. That is ridiculous. And yeah, massive pump by me. Because there was a stick there, I was like, oh, it's in my second main phase, forgetting that Case is at the beginning of your end step, and therefore I wouldn't be able to do it. So that was 100% on me, but we still won. We go first. An okay hand. We don't have a 1-drop. But we can LSL core into Aerith. Hopefully. Is this Sephiroth? I think it might be. If we draw land, we can Pride Mate and Starscape Cleric. Obviously, if this is Razor Pass, that's Sephiroth. They play a Dust Rose Reliquary and Annihilating Glare. Luckily, we have another one. Do they have more removal? Another nesting bot. There is Sephiroth. Well, I think we play out the Essence Channeler. Fortunately, we're not in a really good position to attack. Well, yeah, that's game. Why didn't you attack with Sephiroth? Because you can sacrifice at instant speed. What the hell are they playing at? Let's swing in. Obviously they can block with Bartolome and just sack loads of stuff. Or just sack it straight away. Yeah, sack it so we don't gain life. Well done. I would love my Caves of Koilos. So we can give our Essence Channelers flying. Come on. Attack with Sephiroth. There's no reason not to. I don't think this guy knows how the card works. Well, that's unfortunately a tap land. Well, let's start growing the Pride Mate. Now, if I do the same thing again, But they are running out of creatures, basically. Yeah, they do it properly this time. We gained a decent amount of life. That's why they had another Bartolome. I'm guessing that other card's another Sephiroth. Don't get why they're not attacking. Well, we can... Let's Offspring. We can bring Aerith back with... back with Zoraline. We ping him for a bit more. So next turn we play Zoraline, bring back Aerith, gain a lot of life. They don't have a huge amount in the graveyard to raise the past. Have they got an Annihilating Glare? It's not the end of the world. I would have liked less LSL cores. If they're just growing Bartolome, that's not the end of the world. Are they transforming Sephiroth now? Looks like they are. Can they just... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't think they can just... drain us out. We'll block you there and you there. We do lose one. Put it on you. We are down to 1, which is an issue. Oh, yeah, they've got the emblem. Hello Magic fans and welcome back to a very quick wrap up. So I really like this deck, and you know I love life gain. I've said loads of times before, and I think Minwu is an absolute beast. and one I think something you could play really well in Brawl, but also historic. There is a cleric deck that I've played before I had the channel, which is really powerful around cards like Righteous Valkyrie, which is an angel and a cleric, and you gain life when a cleric enters, and there is a black white card, which I think when a cleric dies, you get another cleric, and Pyre of Heroes to rip through your deck. So might play that in historic. Definitely play Minwu, I think, in Brawl, a mono white life gain cleric deck. We have a lot of clerics, and Minwu can just go absolutely mental and buff your entire board, which is great. So really, really enjoy it. Hope you all do too. Smashing in with like a 10-10 Aerith on turn 4 or 5 is quite impressive. Shame she doesn't have trample, but there's not many ways to give a creature trample in white. You could also play Excalibur 2, a new equipment from the set, if I can type. Excalibur 2 from Final Fantasy 9. When you gain life, put a charge counter on it. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each charge counter on Excalibur. Costs 1, equipped free to equip, but I think it takes up your 1-drop slots and then your 3-drop slots, because ideally you want to be playing a Cave or a Hinterland Sanctifier on turn 1, and then turn 3 an Aerith or a Zoraline or an Inspiring Overseer to really get going. So it doesn't quite fit. And also our main finishers already get huge with life gain. This will be a bit of a win more. And yeah, you could put it on a Hinterland Sacrifice and get in or block with it, but I don't think it's really needed. You could also play white. I can't remember what the Wing Crystal, that's it. Reduces cost of white spells we cast to 1 less. If we gain life, we gain twice so much instead, and we can pay 6 to tap it. Creatures we control gain fly and life to end of turn. But the problem is 4 mana to not directly impact the board. You're not going to trigger any of the life gain payoffs from Case or Hinterland Sanctifier or LSL Core. And yes, it reduces the cost of things, but yeah, it's probably a bit slow. But definitely maybe one worth trying as well. So really annoyed that Venat's not a cleric, because we could then draw from playing all our our various legendaries. So but that's something that things you could do with a deck. I'll probably give it another go in a few weeks, but in the meantime, hope you really enjoy it. Please remember to like and subscribe. Please remember to leave a comment down below, and I'll see you all in the next video.